Welcome back. This is the Sports Counterpoint Show. Like I said to y'all last time, I'm not saying podcast no more because don't nobody have an iPod. So this is the Sports Counterpoint Show where Brian, Coop, and myself talk sports. Been doing this for like close to 7 years. Just started at Brian's house one day, back and forth with it, and I was like, we should make this a show, kind of jokingly, and here we is, still doing it, which is great, man. How you guys doing?
I'm good.
Doing all right.
Good, good, man.
hmm
So March Madness week, we'll be down there with B pretty soon, which is exciting. Always a great time of year. Shout out to all the guys and everybody that'll fall through. And we'll get to that in a minute. So we're today running down Bam Adebayo's 83 he dropped on the Washington Generals. We'll talk about
hmm
that's a joke. They're the Washington Wizards. Those that know. We'll talk about some free agency news for our teams, the Vikings, the Niners, the Raiders. The Super Bowl MVP signs with a new team, so we'll talk about that. And then we're going to kind of run down that first round of March Madness, kind of getting the guys' thoughts on how they think the games may shake out. So let's start with it, man. Last week, we were all texting about it. Bam Adebayo starts out the game with 31 points, ends up with 83 at the end of the game in Washington. There's a lot of talk about this. It's still 83 points, the second highest point total ever scored in an NBA game. It's 100 by Wilt Chamberlain, 83 by Bam Adebayo, 81 by Kobe Bryant. So there's a lot of talk about this, how people feel about the game. 83 is 83. I wanted to get your guys' thoughts. We were texting about it when it happened, but what y'all think about the actual 83-point game?
I'll go
See?
first.
hmm
So, look, he scored 83 points. That deserves to be respected. But 83 is not 83, right? 83 out of a 100-point game is a big difference between that and 83 out of a 150-point game. Add to that, they played the worst team, not the team that just had won, that was just in the NBA Finals the year before, like Kobe did. Not a perennial championship team like on Wilt's team. But that shouldn't take away from it being an accomplishment. Is it the second best game ever? No. Matter of fact, I would even say that Kobe's 61-point game is probably more impressive than his 81-point game. So, but look, Bam did his thing. He scored a whole bunch of points. The team fed him. It's an accomplishment. Anytime you do that, there are plenty of people. Russell Westbrook took every shot possible, and yet he didn't get to 83. So, it's
How,
not something that anyone can do. Yeah, always,
how,
always, always,
damn, how
always.
how Russ catch a stray? Dang.
Um, but look, it's still an accomplishment. It still deserves to be respected. It still will go down in history. It'll still be on the chart for the second most ever. But I don't think anyone's got it on their list of top five performances in a basketball game ever. It's a lot of points. When a lot of points are scored, people will always put a slight asterisk next to it because it was against one of the worst teams in basketball, because they scored 150 points, right? So in most of these other instances, when Wilt scored 100, I believe there was only like 115 points scored for the entire team. Kobe scored 81. There was 100 and some, like
It was like
110,
six or
something like
so,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, 106, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, so by percentage, those players did a hell of a lot more in those games than Bam did, scoring 83 out of 150 points in a game that meant nothing against a team that did nothing.
Oh, it was 122. I take that back. Lakers won 122, 104.
Yeah. So the first thing I want to do, I went to the stat sheet. I want to look at the box scores real quick, and I saw, okay, 7 for 22 on threes. Okay, he's gunning. 13 for 21 on twos. All right, I get it. Then he had 43 free throw attempts from one of a few teams like Utah, Chicago, Brooklyn, and others trying to lose on purpose. So the 83 really doesn't mean much to me after 43 free throws. I mean, the way the game is played now with the lack of defense and everything, I expected someone to pass Kobe's 81 points. And I get the argument. Nobody did it against the Wizards, but also other teams aren't playing their starters when they're up 30 in the third quarter like Miami did. I mean, Wizards have given up over 150 points multiple times this season. This isn't the first time. It's just that the other guys actually sat and he went out and padded stats, which is good for him. But I look at it as when somebody from AAU scores 38 points, which I've seen before off of 17 layups, or people blocking out free throws so Russell Westbrook can get a rebound so he can get a triple double. I mean, it's. I mean, yeah, you got the stats, but I mean, was it organic? I
Jeez
mean,
Louise.
I mean, look, 83 is 83, but for a guy that averaged 18 points a game and then scores 83, it's just like, okay, come on now. What happened this game? It was 43 free throws and a team that's been purposely trying to lose like the Wizards. They don't guard anybody. This isn't the first time they haven't guarded anybody. They haven't guarded anybody all season. They just do not do it. So, I mean, congratulations to Bam, but when you're up 30, 35 points in the third quarter, still trying to stat pad, I can't give it the same respect as other guys who've scored that many points.
Man, let me counterpoint because like I don't even care. But I mean, I saw Reggie Miller say this and I thought it was really. He's like, it's still the league. It's still 83 points. These are still professionals. If there's anyone to be mad at, and he said this on the air, he was like, be mad at the Washington Generals. He's like, I know they're the Wizards, but they didn't put up any fight. I mean, I've always thought this, like, you're right, anybody could do this, but they didn't. So he still did it. He still put up the 83. I think the biggest thing for me that people often forget is just how good NBA players actually are. You're the player on the end of the bench of any team anywhere in the league will mop up everyone at your local 24-hour fitness, your local, like, I think people just forget
That's
those.
White Mamba.
Right. People forget those things. So I always just think of that, right? Like, it's still the league, and we think of players like, oh, it's just Bam, it's this guy. But those guys, them guys had talent. A lot of them dudes were scorers when they were young. They come to the league and play a different role, whatever it may be. It is a lot of free throws. It is, whatever the case may be, but still you got to make the shots. So regardless, it's
Go
83.
ahead.
But no, it's just,
GB, GB. Tim Duncan has more wins than the Washington Wizards since 1997, and Tim Duncan ain't played in 10 years. Okay, that's all you need to know about the Wizards.
yeah, I mean, hey, there's a
They
lot
give
of
up.
bad
They give
teams.
up points. They give
Well,
up points. I
They
mean,
played they
that's
played
horrible.
60 they played like 60 some games to that point and they hadn't given up that many. So either way, to your point, they fed him whatever. He did it. So regardless of the situation, Russell Westbrook, like, oh, you can average a triple double. Nobody did it. He did it. So if it's doable, how come no one else is doing it? Is all I'm saying. So you still get credit
People
for it.
don't
You
stat
you
pad.
you made the
Stat
accomplishment
pad.
either way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah, that's what I said.
either way it's done.
yeah, you made the
So
accomplishment, no doubt.
yeah, so he gets that. And it was cool. Asia Wilson, who they've been dating, that was like one of the first games she got to go to, and he balled out. So that was cool. So, all right, so that's Bam. He got the 83. I know Laker fans, a lot of Kobe fans are asterisk for sure because they are not giving that boy that credit regardless of
Yeah,
that. But
I mean,
he
I have an
still scored the
asterisk on it not
points.
because of Kobe, but because of
Yeah,
all the other factors. Like I said,
yeah.
second most points ever scored, but not the second most impressive performance. And I still think that Kobe's 61 is more impressive than his 81.
Yeah, when you stat pad, man, you can do a whole lot of stuff. That doesn't deserve the same respect as when somebody's not stat padding.
You can go to the Hall of Fame. Just ask Westbrook.
Okay, well, start doing it. How about this? We keep talking about how we don't want to watch. Start doing it then. How about that? It was like
Mm.
baseball. When baseball was slowing down, they were like, "Oh, steroids, steroids." It's like, well, take more, so we can see more hormones. If that's the case, like,
Oh, I
start
like
stat
that.
padding. Start stat padding. You know what I mean? Let's have someone have 75 today, so we could
Well,
talk about
somebody
it
is
because
stat padding.
we definitely were talking
LeBron
about it.
is,
I mean, yeah, differently, but
Yeah,
we were
all you
talking
have to
about
do is play
basketball.
the Wizards.
and
Well,
stay
let's
in the
see him.
game. And
Let's
stay
see
in
him
the game though,
speak. So
because people been resting.
as we
Go ahead.
transition, I will say Bam Adebayo's 83-point game happened on the same day as the Max Crosby thing, and it still wasn't as big as a failed trade in the NFL live 83-point game, which is crazy. But we'll get to that in a second. So let's start with run a little couple of NFL free agents, and then we're going to get to March Madness. B, we talked about your team, man. I've been sending memes about it. They have some pretty funny ones. Your, I think your offensive line, everyone's over like 6'5", and Kyler Murray's like 5'10". So it was pretty
Yeah.
funny. But Vikings get Kyler Murray. It's official. They're saying it's a quarterback competition. I think he's saying it's not. That's his job. So we talked about it previously, but it's official now. What do you think?
I mean, I think it was a good deal for the Vikings to make. The price was certainly right. Getting a player at the minimum who is a coveted free agent. I don't think that he's a superstar, but I do think that KOC has shown what he can do with a serviceable quarterback who's accurate. And we've also seen what can happen when you have one that's really inaccurate in JJ. So, you know, I think this puts them back in a competition for the top two in the NFC North, but I don't think this makes them a Super Bowl contender. The other big free agency signing, which is going to go unheralded because they thought it wasn't going to happen, is that Aaron Jones is re-signing. He's signing a revised contract that lowers his base way down. So they're able to save money and get somebody who, when healthy, is pretty darn good, but had a lot of injury problems, and that's okay because now we have him at half price. So if he only plays half the games, he's still making about the same as what he would make for the other games anyway. But that's all that's really going on with the Vikings at this point.
Coop, any thoughts? Or let's slide.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a victory lap on this one. I said during the season last year, JJ is done. He's a Minnesota version of Trey Lance. Didn't throw a lot of balls in college, ran basic offenses. Coaches tried to change his mechanics.
You
None
and
of that worked.
everybody said that. Nobody was sitting
None
there
of
going, JJ's the next Super Bowl winner. Like nobody said that.
again, victory lap. Everybody says just
He
give a
wasn't-
quarterback all the. Everybody says give a quarterback
And
all these
you know-
weapons, and he's automatically going to be good. And I know Glenn said that a lot. And this is
No,
proof
nobody
that
said that.
method.
Hold on, B.
Jason,
Hold on,
yes.
hold on, B.
Nobody
No,
said
no.
that.
Hold on, B.
Yes. Glenn has said that, and a lot of people
That lap
say
is
that.
as busy as the 405.
Just give Brock Purdy weapons; he'll automatically be good. That's what everybody says about everybody. Well, this guy had a lot of weapons, and he didn't do jack with it. Okay, so I don't want to hear it. That's my victory lap. But I do give credit to Minnesota for moving on. There's too much money involved. This isn't the NBA where you just sit there and make an excuse.
I
and
wish
just
they
sit there
had.
for
They
5
didn't
years.
move on.
This isn't the NBA where you just make excuses and hoping a guy figures it out after 5 years. So they didn't have any options. The quarterback market in the draft is not good, and there's no first or second rounder that's good enough to draft in those rounds in college. And then the free agent market is slim. So Kyler Murray is pretty much the best they can do. I mean, and that's what they got. Kyler, look, his career is pretty much injuries and inconsistency, but he'll be more fun to watch in Minnesota than he would in Arizona. But also, I think people are forgetting when they're giving Sam Darnold all these flowers is that he wasn't asked to come in and save the Vikings. Kyler Murray's is asked to save the Vikings, a different position. So it's not like it's the same expectations. I mean, Kyler Murray's going to be asked to do a lot, whereas they were just hoping to get a little bit out of Sam Darnold and got a little bit more. So we'll see what happens, but it'll be fun to watch.
B.
I already said it, but I just think the victory lap thing is a little weird because, like, literally, I didn't see anybody who was like, JJ's the winner. Like I said, that victory lap is as busy as the 405 at rush hour. Everybody's on it.
No, nobody was on it like that. First round quarterback, nobody's saying that. Come on, man. Maybe a couple people, but I was always on it from day one. Didn't make any sense.
Fair enough. So that's your Vikings top. So let's go to your team, Coop. Niners, man. You get Mike Evans, which is I feel for him because if you're a guy that's had injuries, best place to go is the damn Niners on a 1 year prove it deal. But tell me what you think.
I'm not going to talk about everybody. I'm just going to talk about two people, man. This 49ers receivers, Mike Evans and Christian Kirk. The 49ers signed in veteran receivers, both out of Texas A&M. They solved two issues the 49ers had issues with on offense last season. Number one, signing veterans. Kyle, of course, he's going to do it because he doesn't play he doesn't play young receivers. But Mike Evans is significant because not only do I love his deal, which is essentially just a 1 year, $16 million deal, because that's all that's guaranteed. But he's the first true outside receiver Shanahan has had since he's been in San Francisco. So the offense is going to be a little different. And, I don't know, of course, you guys know Purdy likes to throw those 50-50 balls up in the air. So throwing it to a guy like Mike Evans and also using him as a red zone threat should help out Brock Purdy. So defenses like Seattle can't use their safeties to cheat up at the line of scrimmage. And because the 49ers didn't have any receivers that can consistently beat man coverage, but Mike Evans can. And also with Kittle being out, coming from Achilles, they can't just key in on McCaffrey. So it should help. Christian Kirk solved the second issue the 49ers had last year at wide receiver, which was lack of speed. 49ers didn't have any speed. Pearsall is good, but he's not a speed guy. Bourne is a journeyman. Ayuk, of course, didn't play. And Jennings, he's not a speed guy either and has problems separating. So they both solve issues. Now, like Glenn said, the first thing I thought was, let's see if they get hurt in training camp, because that's always my fear. Guys come to the 49ers and we expect all this and players get hurt. So we'll see what happens, health pending. But I like the signings and they make sense because they solve a need that the 49ers have.
There, B, got any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I echo what Jason just said about both of those wide receivers. Evans, a great red zone threat. The guy just knows how to catch big balls in big moments. And Christian Kirk is a speedster. I mean, those are the types of things that you want to build your wide receiver core around. Health issues for both of them, which hopefully they were able to get through. But when healthy, and that's all you can count on is assume that they're going to be healthy. Mike Evans and Christian Kirk are good wide receivers.
Definitely. All right. So that's your Niners, and then Raiders wise, I was talking before we got on the show, man. Like we got a whole new defense. We got like, so you get Tyler Linderbaum from on the center, from on the offensive line, get him from the Ravens, which is, the prize free agent signing in here for the offense that we're, with Kubiak offense we're going to run. Center is going to be asked to do a lot. Got to be athletic, got to be able to block. Dude, it has been that. So I think you kind of need that cornerstone if you're going to run the kind of offense that they're talking about. That makes sense. Defensive wise, Max Crosby's traded to the Ravens for 3 days, I think. It was kind of understanding. I mean, it's what happens. It's the league. Players get traded, players move. Then the physical gets rescinded, or they say he doesn't pass physical, which we all knew he had surgery. He was part of the reason of the whole trade, and this even starting was because he was up. The thought was he was upset about being shut down for the last 2 games of the season, which he had surgery, etc. So we all knew, that's what started the trade talk in the beginning. So for all that to happen, they cancel it. It was interesting. I mean, I know Coop, I think in the thread we've talked about it. Actually, we were talking about how this hadn't happened on a key free agent like this, like Max Crosby. The Ravens did this actually with, you guys remember, God, what was the receiver's name? Ryan Grant.
Michael Kraft. Yeah, but he
That
wasn't
was
key.
Grant.
But I remember that. Yeah, I remember
But
that.
he had a 4-year deal, was agreed, and then they rescinded it and picked up someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So
Got Crabtree.
either
They
way,
got Crabtree.
yeah, exactly. That's right. Doesn't, whatever. I think you do what you do. It's going to be what it is. But for me, as a Raider fan, it's, it's exciting to see. To me, Quay Walker and I like him and Kobe Dean played together at college. I like how they played at Georgia. That's going to be very interesting to see. Get Teron Johnson, which in a trade, which is good, and then get Max back. So we had a whole new defense, and then add Max in. We're running a different defensive scheme, but I'm really excited to see what happens. You guys know me; it's always about Madden, so I know that I can control what's going to happen on the field is going to happen on the field. But I'm excited at the current moment. So y'all got any thoughts?
Yeah,
Hey
I'll
B,
go.
as you say, hey B, as you say your
Yeah.
thoughts. Give me the Ravens perspective too after you talk about the Raiders as well.
Yeah, well, I was going to talk a little bit about that, but yeah. So the
Okay.
people that are on that have, with the Raiders that they signed, Jalen Naylor, I think is actually a really under valued deal. I mean, these 3 years, $35 million. They obviously see his worth, but I'm saying that the fans should really be excited about him. He was an outstanding third guy for the Vikings and often performed as the number 2 when there were people out and whatnot. He's really good, and you're going to like him a lot. There's a little bit of chess that got played in a game of checkers when it came to what the Raiders were able to accomplish there. Had they not traded Max to Baltimore and took up that cap space, they wouldn't have been able to rule out Tyler Linderbaum from being signed by Baltimore, which they were ultimately able to do on a 3-year, $81 million deal. So had that not worked out in that exact moment over that 3-day period, you wouldn't have Tyler Linderbaum, who's one of the best centers in the game, on your team. So, it wasn't planned, but it definitely worked out. On the Baltimore side, I don't know what the heck they were thinking. I mean, so they make a trade for a player who just had a surgery and expect that he's going to be perfectly healthy on day one. That's unrealistic. What I think actually happened was that they went and tried to get Max Crosby because they didn't think they could get Trey Hendrickson. And then they went and saw that Trey Hendrickson was actually going to become available. He's healthy. He's cheaper. And so they were like, why are we giving up picks and going to have to pay Max Crosby when we can take Trey Henderson? And then invalidated the deal. It's a little shady, but it worked out great for the Raiders. If they can figure out how to get Max Crosby to play in a 3-4, which might be a little bit different, but he's such a playmaker and so talented and gifted, I think they'll figure out a way. The Raiders actually come up, and the Baltimore Ravens look foolish and poorly run.
Cool.
Yeah. After all this that your team has done, Glenn, I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about Raider fans. I know it's like I'm always on the opposite side. They thought Antonio Pierce should have been the guy. I said no. They thought they were going to win 9 games. I'll tell you about that bet I have. A couple of Raider fans are going to win 9 games last year. I said you're out of your mind. Now this year they're talking about what the hell are they doing? They don't like the moves, and I'm telling them what they're doing is they're adding defensive players who can actually play in the NFL. So the last couple of years you ain't had that, and they're talking about look how much we paid the center. Yes, you overpaid for a center, but it's a need because you're about to draft a quarterback who's going to need a whole lot of help.
Yeah.
I don't know about all that, but he's going to need a whole lot of help to succeed. And so giving him a center for the next few years to help a young quarterback is a smart thing to do. So and I don't care what any Raider fans say. I think the Raiders want that first round pick and would like Max Crosby off the team. I think they want those first round picks for the next 2 years. That's just my opinion. Now, as
So it
far as
is.
people blame, as far as people blaming the Ravens, I mean Max Crosby is a better player than Trey Henderson. So I don't. I mean, I wouldn't really want Trey Henderson over Max Crosby. I really believe, and maybe
Same
I'm
thing.
wrong, but I believe maybe they saw his knee and was like, in 2 years, that knee is not going to hold up or be good enough for him. And so they backed out the deal, end up getting Trey Henderson. But I don't think Trey Henderson is better than Max Crosby. I don't think they're no closer to a Super Bowl with Trey Henderson than they would be with Max Crosby. I mean, I know I would like Crosby over Trey Henderson, but that's just me. But the Raiders wasn't doing anything. The Raiders wasn't doing anything with it without. And I guess it's good for Crosby that he's back, but I think the Raiders would like those 14th pick, that 14th pick, because they built their whole free agency and their whole plan for the offseason with having that pick. And now they have to redo their draft for it because they won't have it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not there, but I don't think that's an issue at all, especially with Crosby falling under the cap and still having hella cap space. I think I don't know. I
Yeah, they
think they're in a
got
pretty
plenty of
good spot, bro.
space.
I think they're in a pretty good spot.
And they
So
got, again, Tyler Linderbaum is generally considered the second best center and one of the
right.
best run blockers in the game for a team that has a Genty who they want to establish and will be able to help a young quarterback. It was a very, very strong signing in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Shout out to the
Yeah.
homies that be in the barbershop with you. Y'all, man, let me come through or something because I don't know what we talking about.
Oh,
Like
yeah, come through.
like who are these? Yeah, and I can actually I don't know what they talking about. I'll get a fade and we can talk about it because what are y'all talking about?
Okay.
You don't
Well,
like
the
the
one that
pigs?
let me tell you something. The one that bet me last year that y'all was gonna win 9 games, start with him because he's optimistic every year.
Yeah, me too. I had the same. Well, I had a bet for a 6 pack too, but I'll do that any year. I don't care about that. Now you want to start talking about some racks? Nah, I'm gonna start getting real sensible. But y'all want to talk about a shot or something? Yeah, I got the Raiders going to the
Sensible or
Super Bowl.
skeptical? Skeptical.
Yeah, yeah. Like y'all want to talk about a shot or something? Yeah, I got the Raiders going to the Super Bowl. Like I win either way.
Okay.
But yeah, that's interesting. I think they did a great job, and it's been fun to see. So,
Yeah,
uh,
yes.
couple
They have done a
couple
great job.
couple other key free agents. You'd mentioned the Chiefs because they are always a premier team right now after being
Yeah.
having so much Super Bowl success and Mahomes and Reed, and mainly to me because it's very rare that the Super Bowl MVP transfers teams like that directly after Super Bowl and goes to a team that can actually very much use a running game. So the Chiefs lose Pacheco, but they get Kenneth Walker in free agency. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, look, the Chiefs are going to pivot to a running team next year. I mean, their receivers ain't what it used to be. Mahomes is coming off injury, and they haven't had a running game in at least 2 3 years. Kareem Hunt, he has an average 4 yards per carry in the last 4 years. He's not effective. And then Pacheco, he signed with Detroit for less than $2 million. So that lets you know his value. He averaged less than 4 yards per game the last 2 seasons. So they had to do something. Um, Look, Kenneth Walker, he's never ran for over 1,050 yards in the season. He got hot late and parlayed that into a new contract. Good for him, but I don't expect 1,500 yards coming from him in KC. And I also don't want to hear about any bitching and moaning about running backs not getting paid. Saquon got paid. He couldn't get 1,200 yards last year, and Josh Jacobs got paid. He couldn't get 1,000. So running backs are getting paid. They're just not producing after, a quote unquote, contract year or good year or whatever the case may be. And then Justin Fields, that makes total sense. You can use his athletic ability to try to, get yards in the running game and help out, with Kenneth Walker. So I understand both signings. I don't think Mahomes is coming back healthy starting game one. This is going to be a year they might just, Travis Kelsey is going to be his last year. They re-signed him. I guess it'll be a going away year or whatever for him about him. But these moves make sense for the Chiefs. They have to transition to a running team because the passing game is not going to function that well next season. But Brian, I don't know what you thought about these moves.
Yeah, well, speaking of centers, right? The number one center is Creed Humphrey for the Chiefs. So they already
Mhm.
have the ability to do some great run blocking. Now they just needed a running back who could take advantage of it. And Kenneth Walker is exactly the kind of guy who can do that. He's quick when he gets out in space. He knows how to run through the middle. He actually prefers to run through the middle. And then they also signed Amari DeMarcado, who is kind of one of those scat backs, which works
Mhm.
really well when Mahomes gets back and gets healthy. Justin Fields is probably good enough to play a few games to start the season in case Mahomes isn't ready. So and
Mhm.
again, when you want from your backup quarterback is to split game. So if Mahomes can't play a few games and Justin Fields goes in there and wins one of three or two or four or whatever, that's a win because That's quite honestly what the Chiefs do anyway at the beginning of the season. They're usually not very good at the beginning of the season, and then they come on strong at the end and start going into the playoffs. So, anyways, smart, strategic signings. They also brought back Kelsey. I don't know that they're going to be a Super Bowl contender. I don't think that these are the makings of a Super Bowl team, but I understand the strategy, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Cool. One of these days, we'll talk. I see you don't put, to me, as much emphasis on the system. You talk
System
about
of what?
Josh Jacobs, you talk about Saquon. If you don't give them the ball, how they gonna get 1,500 yards? And even mentioning, we're not gonna get into it now, so I don't even know where I'm starting. But even the Brock Purdy thing is like the system works well. We've seen a lot of quarterbacks have success in that system. He had good players around. Yeah,
just two.
like it's solid.
Only two.
I mean, Jimmy G
Only
went to the
two
Super
quarterbacks.
Bowl. That's pretty.
The trucks
That's
keep
true.
on coming. Like, man, you guys put out more trucks than Ford.
I'm about to say, I just think cats can win.
There have been 7 quarterbacks for the 49ers. You named 2. I mean, there have been 7. You didn't talk about C.J. Beathard, Sean. You didn't talk about them.
Mac Jones did solid. I'm just saying that guys play. When you have a system, it's a little more helpful. We mentioned Sam Darnold even, and when he was on the Vikings, little system,
Kevin O'Connell don't have a system.
You can do. That's what I'm saying, though.
Kevin O'Connell.
That's my point.
Kevin O'Connell got a system.
This is my point.
JJ didn't take advantage of it, so that's my point. You just got to throw the ball too.
Right, but okay, all right. Well, we'll talk. I think it'll be a fun conversation because for me, I think there's a lot more on the system. You put a quarterback in a system like Darnold can play clearly quarterback. You put him in a good system, support, defense, running game, Super Bowl. I'm not saying it's not for everybody, but I don't know that, some guys can kind of play without the system and make it work. Other guys, Kyler Murray may be great. You have a system to work in, so it's just, to me, interesting, especially if you're a running back and you're dependent. When you're a quarterback, you have the ball. Running back, receiver type, you're dependent on the system, on where they get you the ball, etc. So, just interesting to me. So, we'll see what happens.
It's NFL. It's NFL. You can't have a perfect team. It's a salary cap. Lamar Jackson gets paid a lot of money, and he's not good enough to overcome deficiencies, just like Dak Prescott. That's why Lamar and Dak are never making the Super Bowl.
Right. I think that point is for everybody, though. If you put Brock Purdy on the Raiders last year, you're not going to the playoffs. Is my point. Like, you need system, you need support, and especially the NFL. NBA is a little different. I think you can do more, but
the Raiders' problem is players. Players. That's
players and system win games unless you're a quarterback on the 49ers is basically what I'm hearing, because then they're all fantastic.
No,
when they win, but as soon as they lose about 2 games, yank them. Put Mac Jones in.
The Raiders didn't have any players last year. That was just a bad team.
I mean, I get it. This is my point, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, system, I think, and players is what's going to make it. But
hey, Glenn, Alex Smith can't throw a post route. It doesn't matter what system you put him in. He can't throw a 7 route. It doesn't matter. You can have Andy Reid as coach. He can't throw it. You got to have some type of.
They went to the playoffs, right? They won playoff games.
Right. We did playoff games in Kansas City.
Look at that year. I was there. I'm pretty sure they won at least the one. Y'all went to this. Y'all definitely went to the Super Bowl against the Saints with Alex Smith.
They blew a 4-touchdown lead. Alex Smith. That was the year that they played the Giants, and Alex Smith competed 1/3 down the entire game. It was 1 for 13.
He was the only player on there. He's the only player on the field.
1 for 13. He never threw the ball downfield. I'm just saying.
I got to get back to the. We got to get back to the March Madness thing, but I'm just saying. I just seems to be a lot of. If you don't like a player, it don't matter what he do. You don't like a player, it don't matter what he do. That's all I'm saying.
It's not about liking. I just know the skill of the player. I'm not about to sit there and just lie just because you guys want to defend somebody.
It's all opinion, bro.
You're just gonna claim that you're right because you decided that you're right.
He can't throw
if we were good, we wouldn't be on here.
He can't throw a post route. You can sit there and tell me he can't show me the film. Show me. Show me.
I'm just saying.
You show the film. You're the one claiming it.
Show me. No, I watched the games. I watched the games.
Me too.
No,
really?
He's good at that.
I guarantee you, there's nobody on this podcast that watches more football than me. NFL football than me. Sorry.
I would try.
Don't tell me I don't watch the games.
Gosh,
now.
I try.
Funny enough, I see Alex Smith doesn't throw deep. You should know that.
I seen him at the. We've seen him this weekend. So shout out to A. Smith. So all right, Slider, we'll talk about this.
He got introduced as a legend at the game. I was at the Warriors game that he was at last week. He got introduced as the 49ers legend. I was like, that might be overstating that just a tad.
I tell you what, though.
I don't think his number's retired in the the 49ers Hall of Fame. I don't think his number's up there.
Well, the Warriors can
Man,
say
I don't
whatever they
even think
want.
his numbers retired in the Hall are very good.
When they when Jimmy G's retirement ceremony goes, I got your ticket. We're sitting 50
Uh,
yard line. I
no,
got it.
I won't be there because it
I
won't
got it.
happen.
I got you.
Hmm.
All right, so starting the college basketball tournament, which is very exciting. We'll all be at Brian's watching a bunch of games. Shout out to all the guys that'll be down there. Always a really good time. So let's run it up. I think we got about 30 minutes right now, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So I'm gonna just run through the games, the first round, just your quick thoughts, and then we'll start with the East. We'll go to the West. We'll do the South and the North, and then we'll get up out of here. So first game I got is Duke versus Siena. I don't even know where Siena is.
Duke is a blowout.
Yeah, I was about to say. I don't even know where Siena
Keep
is.
going. Yeah, keep going.
The Siena Saints. So okay, shout out to them. Ohio State versus TCU, 8 versus 9.
I'll go with TCU.
I'm going to go with Ohio State.
That's my pick too. But shout out to my homie Algernon because that's why for that because he's out there. St. John's versus Northern Iowa. That's a 5 versus 12.
St.
Who
John's.
coaches St. John's? Who coaches St. John's? Rick Pitino?
I think it
Yeah, he
does.
does. Yeah, I'll go
Yeah.
over Rick Pitino because he be having brothels on campus. Yeah, let me go over St.
Okay.
John's.
Man, you bring up old stuff, man. He ain't even like that no more. Kansas versus Cal Baptist, number 4 versus 13.
This is going to be a blowout. Cal Baptist was lucky to get there. First tourney. Happy for them to be there, but this is about to be a big blowout.
Enjoy the screen time, guys, and have some fun.
Hey, is Cal Baptist, is that the team with the assistant coach that was a pimp? Or is that
That's
Cal
UC
Lutheran?
No,
Bakersfield.
that's Cal State Bakersfield.
Cal State
okay.
Bakersfield. Sorry, UC Bakersfield.
Okay, I was
That's
going to
funny.
pick the upset because of him, but now I'll take Kansas.
Ridiculous. Louisville versus South Florida, the 6 versus 11.
So this is one where I'm going to pick Louisville, but if I'm going to miss an upset, I think South Florida might be able to do that. But Louisville is my pick.
Interesting.
I'm taking South Florida. I've watched them in their little tournament. You can bet on them a couple times. They run up and down the court and get points. So I'm gonna take South Florida.
Okay. Michigan State versus North Dakota, 3 versus 14. North Dakota State.
Blowout, Michigan State.
I got Michigan
They
State.
should. Yeah, they should. Man, UCLA versus UCF, a 7 versus 10.
I'm going to take
Look.
UCLA because they're scrappy and know how to stay in games. I mean, that's what they were able to do in the Big 12 tournament. So I'm going to take them. And, there's reasons to like them a little bit more against weak teams. And UCF is not exactly a strong team.
Yeah, the old Pac-12 conference, those guys didn't do well in the NCAA tournament. I know they're not in the Pac-12 no more, but I'm still going to take Central Florida.
I know. I don't think it even exists. UConn versus Furman. UConn is a 2 versus 15. Furman.
UConn by a lot.
UConn.
Yeah, they should. Sliding to the West, you got number 1 Arizona versus Long Island, 16.
This might be the most lopsided game on the entire bracket when you have a team that's like ranked number 3 in stats versus LIU, which is 168. But they play the games. This is going to be a blowout.
That's tough.
Yeah, I think Duke's going to win by more points in the first round, but Arizona's going to win by a lot. I take Arizona.
Got Villanova versus Utah State, 8 versus 9.
I don't like Villanova this year. I'm taking Utah State.
I'm taking Utah State too. They're actually rated higher by most metric standards as well. So
fair enough. You got Wisconsin
versus upset.
Yep, Wisconsin versus High Point, a 5 versus 12.
Wisconsin.
I got High Point.
Not a lot,
I had them
but
last year.
Yeah.
Go
ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I had High Point last year. They didn't get it done. Kept it close and blew it late, but I'm taking High Point again this year.
Fair enough. And for anybody wondering the numbers I'm saying or their seeds and where they sit on the bracket. So you got Arkansas, 4 seed versus Hawaii at 13.
Pick upset, Brian.
That's definitely not. Arkansas is underrated. They're a 4 seed. They're like they're like a top 20 metric team. There's 6 in the offense now, 6 in the nation for offense. Arkansas is going to beat up on Hawaii.
Yeah, I got Arkansas too. I can't take Hawaii. I've seen them play.
All right, so then the next round you have a playing game to get there from the first 4. You got Texas playing NC State. So
ridiculous that Texas has to even do that, but
it's crazy. So whoever wins that game is going to play BYU. So give me who you got between obviously Texas and NC State. Your winner is playing BYU. So tell me who's going to play BYU and who wins that game.
Who you got, B?
I got Texas. Slight edge, but this is not a bad game, but Texas. And then I've got BYU. AJ Bonsa is really, really good, and likely to be a top pick, but he's part of BYU, so they're going to win.
Yeah, I'm going to take NC State to win both games, to beat Texas and to beat BYU in the first round.
Fair enough. Then you got Gonzaga, number 3 seed, versus Kennesaw State, 14. Shout out to Dredd out in Kennesaw.
I was about to say that. You took my line. Shout out to Dredd. Gonzaga by a fairly large margin.
Yeah, I got Gonzaga too.
Fair enough. You got the Coop squad, Miami versus Missouri, a 7 versus 10 seed.
Not in basketball, but I'm taking Miami this game. I'm a U fan in football, but I'm taking Miami to beat Missouri. I think they're better than 1.5 points. I think it's going to be a lot more than that.
Fair enough, B.
Yeah. This is a game that tends to have upsets. That's how I think the line is a little bit there, but I think Miami wins.
Fair enough. And then the last one in this bracket, you got Purdue versus Queens of North Carolina, a 2 versus a 15 seed.
Purdue's really, really good and very tall. They're number 2 in the nation offensively, and they're playing a really bad Queens team. Bad by tournament standards. Not they won their conference, but anyways, Purdue by a bunch.
Fair enough. So then we slide. My bad. Go ahead. My bad.
The only Queens I know is where Eddie Murphy went to in the movie Coming Out of Africa. So I'm taking Purdue. I ain't doing Queens and North Carolina. Yeah, that too. I got Purdue.
All right. Fair enough. Then we have another playing game to play number 1 seed Florida in the Southern bracket. You have Prairie View A&M versus Lehigh. Obviously, I'm going with Prairie View A&M. Shout out to the HBCU. But who you got? Prairie View versus Lehigh, and then versus Florida.
I also got Prairie View, and then I have them getting dumped by Florida by a bunch.
Man, that's cold, man. Who they playing against? Lehigh?
They're not even on the metrics ratings, Prairie View. Yeah. Not even on the ratings.
You know what? I'm going with Lehigh because they're used to being in the NCAA tournament and getting waxed in the first round. So I'm going to go Lehigh.
Okay. And I see you said, and they're getting waxed by Florida. Got it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. And then you got Clemson, number 8 versus Iowa, number 9. That actually sounds like an interesting game.
Give me 9. Give me Iowa.
You got Iowa? Okay, I got Clemson.
Fair enough. And then you got
Iowa's actually metric as a metric darling. They're like 11 levels higher than Clemson. Anyways.
Interesting. This guy be. Then you got Vanderbilt versus McNeese, a 5 versus 12 seed.
Oh, I got
Vandy.
Yeah, Vandy. Nebraska versus Troy. That's a 4 versus a 13 seed.
Nebraska.
Yeah, I got Nebraska too.
Yeah, you got North Carolina versus VCU, a 6 versus an 11.
I got VCU. Upset.
I got VCU as well. I was expecting that. I was expecting to be all alone on that one, but I got the Caleb Wilson's broken thumb makes this a little bit easier to pick an upset.
Mm-hmm.
I take VCU.
Taylor is hurt. You got number 3 Illinois versus 14 Penn.
I seen Penn play. You better take Illinois. I've seen Penn play. It's Illinois.
Well, and Illinois has the number 1 offense in the nation. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze about.
Oh, it ain't. Number 7 St. Mary's versus number 10 Texas A&M.
That's a good one. Who you got, Brian?
I got St. Mary's.
Yeah, St. Mary's usually plays well in the first game of the tournament, but I've seen Texas A&M play a couple times. Actually, you know what? Boy, I went to high school with his son, Mikey Williams, played for St. Mary's. I'm going for St. Mary's.
Nice.
Sophomore.
We'll be looking for him for sure. Then you got number 2 Houston versus 15 Idaho.
Oh, Houston's got a great defense. Idaho's not going to know what to do with it. They're just going to be they're overmatched.
Yeah, they'll definitely be overmatched. Yeah.
All right, so then let's talk about it. You got Michigan, who's going to play the winner of Howard or UMBC.
Yeah, see, that's just messed up, man. That Howard has to play a playing game. They're at least a 13 seeded team. I'm totally lying. I've watched Howard play. They are 16. They are definitely a 16 seed team. But and I don't think they're going to beat UMBC. I think UMBC is going to win and then lose to Michigan.
Yeah. What night do they play on? Do they play tomorrow or Wednesday?
They play tomorrow.
All right. At least we can talk about it. But anyways, yeah, UMBC is going to win and Michigan's going to trounce them.
Hey, I'm obviously rooting for Howard. Let's go.
I'm rooting for him. But
Yeah,
be honest
exactly.
with my
I'm
pick.
rooting for him.
Let's go.
Gotta be honest with my pick. Yeah.
Then you got Georgia, number 8 Georgia versus number 9 St. Louis.
See?
Give me the upset, St. Louis.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going the same way. The Billikens.
St. Louis. You got number 5 Texas Tech versus number 12 Akron.
This is a game that Texas Tech could actually lose. This is hard. If there's a 5-12 upset, I would say this one. So I'll take Akron.
I'll take Tech.
Interesting. I like it. Number 4 Alabama versus 13 Hofstra.
Both teams
Alabama.
can score. Yeah, but I'm gonna take Alabama. Both teams can score though.
Excuse me. Then you have Miami of Ohio is going to play SMU for the opportunity to play Tennessee. So we all got Miami, Ohio versus SMU, and then that team versus Tennessee.
SMU is actually, I mean, they're like 38th to 40 in the or low 40s in metric-based rankings. Anyways, they're not out. They're not outmatched. They probably shouldn't have been in a playing game, but Tennessee's still better.
No, you mean who?
Yeah,
Miami, Ohio.
Yeah, so you're saying SMU beats
Miami,
Ohio,
and
then
then
they lose to
okay, I
Tennessee.
got you.
And then
I got you.
Yeah.
If Miami, Ohio came into this game undefeated, I would take SMU. But they ended up losing in their conference tournament, so now they're 31-1. They got a loss. I think they'll refocus and then they'll beat SMU. As far as playing Tennessee, I think they'll get past Tennessee as well. So I got them winning.
Okay. Number 3 Virginia versus 14 Wright State.
Virginia.
Yeah, I got to find
Virginia's
out where
got
Wright
great
State
defense
is.
against these overmatched, teams that are just getting into the tournament. Defense wins.
Yeah,
I'm going Virginia as well.
Fair enough. Then you got number 7 Kentucky versus number 10 Santa Clara. Shout out to Jonathan.
Santa Clara.
So you got to be. Damn.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna be.
Let's go.
I thought I was gonna be on the side. Yeah, I got Santa Clara too. I got Santa Clara winning this.
Let's go.
I mean, didn't Kentucky lose to that school Oakland that year when that guy hit like 7, 8, 10 threes when against Kentucky? Yeah.
Yeah, Kentucky's ranking is based off their name this time around.
Yeah.
Love it. Let's go, Santa Clara. I think I know they're one of their trainers too. Played golf with them. Shout out to Nomi Kev. Then you got Iowa State versus Tennessee State, number 2 versus 15. I think Tennessee State's HBCU too, right?
Iowa State.
I'm not taking Tennessee State. I got Iowa State.
And there it is, bro. I think we did it in record timing. Appreciate you fellas for the rapid fire round. Last few segments and we up out of here. Let's start with the game ball this week. Coop, what you got?
Skip me. I gotta pick up a game ball. Go ahead. You got Mike. Brian, you start.
Raiders front office. They make if I were a Raider fan, this would be a real great week, couple of weeks, because they did something that made sense, and it looks like they're actually putting a squad together. I can actually understand the logic, whether it works or not. I can understand 100%. The logic, and that is not something you can always say about Raider teams, especially this early in free agency. Hats off to them.
100%.
I was actually going to say the Raiders, to be honest with you, but I was trying to think of something else. So I'm going to go ahead and echo that. The Raiders, I think I'm not saying they're going to win 10 games, but they had a really good free agency period where they made some like smart, grown-up organization that made picks that made sense and looks like they know what they're doing. I mean, the Jets and the Raiders have the same record, but nobody has faith in the Jets. People seem to have some optimism about the Raiders, and they should. So, yeah, I would say the Raiders.
Make good moves. I'm going to get mine to Bam, man. He's been getting clowned a lot for putting up that many points in a game, but the boy still scored 83. Still was hooping. So shout out to Bam Adebayo, man, for 83 of them. B's hogwash, man. You came up with this. What you got for what's a bunch of hogwash right now?
Baltimore. What were you thinking? Like Baltimore, the whole way that they did it is a black eye in the organization, and how they run things over there. They became I wouldn't say the laughing stock of the NFL, but a laughing stock of the NFL for the last 2 weeks for how they handled it. That doesn't mean that they're going to win or not win or whatever. That's not making a prediction on their future. That's just saying the way that they handled that was poor.
I'm gonna stay in the NFL. I'm gonna give it to the Indianapolis Colts. Last year was this time. At this time, it was the Jets because of the Justin Field contract. But it's Indianapolis, man. They just paid Alec Pierce $84 million guaranteed. All he does is run straight down the field. Just one thing. That's it. They don't have any first round picks.
114 million in total value.
Yeah, right. 84 guaranteed. They had that dumb trade last year with Sauce Gardner, a corner. They traded for a corner and gave up 2 first-round picks for that. But the reason why they're hogwash is because they signed Daniel Jones to an $80 million contract. They should have asked the Giants what happened when they signed him to an $80 million contract after throwing 15 touchdowns in the season. Now, I know people talk about Kirk Cousins, but go look at Kirk Cousins' stats. For a 7-8 year period, he was throwing 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. Nobody that I can think of in NFL has done less and made more money than Daniel Jones. This man ain't played 10 good games in his career. There was no market for him, no reason to pay him that kind of money. I mean, when Indianapolis Colts come in third place, you know why? Because Daniel Jones is your quarterback. Dude is not good. I don't care if he handed the ball off a lot to Jonathan Taylor. That was so stupid. The Colts are definitely hogwash. Definitely.
No, he looked good with the Niners.
No, he wouldn't. We don't have a
Trust,
system.
bro. All you need is a system, bro. Give somebody some
We don't
time.
got a system.
They start cooking. Oh, what was I about to say? I had something, but I forgot it. All right, skip me. It was something. It was gonna be something silly though. When Bees mentioned Baltimore, all I thought it was Senator Clay Davis, man. Rest in peace, Isaiah Whitlock. If you know the wire, then you know the phrase I'm saying right now. I ain't gonna say it on the show. Last of it, minute to win it. Thanks everybody for listening. Take care of yourselves. I'll let B get to all the crazy stuff, man. I'm just trying to protect my neck, like Wu Tang said. Coop.
I'm just gonna say I don't want to hear nobody in the media anymore talk about how Kevin Stefanski's a smart guy. I just don't see it. This guy willingly drafted Dylan Gabriel last year with the Cleveland Browns. This dude is an XFL prospect. He ain't an NFL prospect, and he had him starting. And this dude willingly went out and got Tua as his quarterback. Willingly. Anybody that willingly goes out to have Tua play quarterback for them, don't tell me he's smart. I don't trust this guy's judgment at all. He will fail in Atlanta and be fired in a few years. Definitely. That's my minute to win it.
Right. Right. B.
There's not enough time if we did 3 of these shows back to back to back to talk about all the craziness that's going on in this world right now. But there's 2 things that are kind of under people's radar that I think should be brought up. One, we basically are starting a campaign. Our government's starting a campaign to take over Cuba. So they blocked oil and have completely shut down the Cuban power grid to the point where they have a complete collapse of their power grid. And Trump was sitting there kind of joking about, won't it be such a big honor for me to be the guy who finally takes over Cuba after all this talk? Any of us, at any point in time, any president could have taken over Cuba. It wasn't that hard. It's a small island with not a lot of people, weapons, etc. So why he thinks that this is something that needs to be done now is, well, Epstein-esque. The other thing that's kind of a big deal, and for the people who are traveling here over the next couple of days, the TSA situation has gotten just bad and worse. Jason, I'll tell you that life at Oakland is still pretty good because I fly in and out of it every other week.
Okay.
But it's the TSA lines are 2 to 3x. Like Oakland, that doesn't mean much. 2 to 3x is still short. But when you're at Austin, where they had a 3-hour wait, and Dallas Fort Worth, where they had a 2.5-hour wait, and all these other major thoroughfares that a lot of people have to go through, add to that because they haven't been paying the TSA agents for the last 2 weeks, a bunch of them just rage quit. Not said, hey, we're going to sick out or anything else. They just said, I'm done. I'm out. It's a wrap. Yeah. So that means even when they do get this fixed, the problem isn't going to be solved. And this is a really, really significant problem when you have a bunch of people all across the country who are traveling. And we're going into holidays like Mother's Day, where that's a big travel holiday. People go back and visit moms. But anyways, those are just 2. Yes. What's going on in Afghanistan? The Baghdad embassy was struck. Oil fields in Iraq have been shot and blown up. So that's going to increase the prices of gas even more, although we're using gas and oil that was brought into the country almost 7 years ago. So, those price inflations are just kind of arbitrary. But there's so much going on. Those are just two things that are not at the top of a lot of people's awareness right now. Wish everybody nothing but the best. As a matter of fact, I forgot to mention last week there was an FBI alert about drones coming to attack California, in both the Bay Area and Southern California, only to be found out that they're really targeting Palantir, which is he's in Miami. But anyways, neither here nor there. Lots of crazy stuff going on. Keep your head above water.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to renew my subscription next year, but that's Sports Counterpoints. We appreciate y'all for listening. Have a fantastic week. We'll see y'all next time. We'll see you in a couple weeks on the next show. Today was March the 16th, 2026. Sorry for not saying it earlier. Thanks everybody for checking us out. We'll see y'all next time.